It's 7 o'clock. I call the July 15th, 2025 regular board meeting of Glencoe Park District to order. Lisa, please call the roll and state the time.
Commissioner Hazen is not here right now. Commissioner Covey?
Here.
Here he is.
Oh, there he is. Say here. Commissioner Guzman?
Here.
Commissioner Reifman?
Here.
President Spain?
Here. Okay. Consent agenda items A, B, and C are routine. Does any commissioner want any item pulled from the consent agenda items? Hearing none, I entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented.
So moved.
Can I have a second, please?
Oh,
You too. I'll roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Hazen?
Here.
Yes.
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 Commissioner Covey?
Yes.
Commissioner Guzman?
Yes.
Commissioner Reifman?
Yes.
President Spain?
Yes. Okay. Motion passes. Okay. I don't believe we have any matters from the public for today. So
Yes.
I'm going to move forward with a discussion and review of community input for the Glencoe Beach Playground and Spring feature. So I understand Michelle Kelly from Upland Design is here.
Yep. Kyle, do you want to introduce?
Yeah. So thank you, President Spain. So as President Spain mentioned, Michelle Kelly is with us tonight from Upland Design Group. She will be leading the discussion tonight following the community open house meeting and the results of that subsequent survey. Before you'll have the display boards that were included at the open house as well as in the survey. Discuss the results, get board feedback and direction with the goal of being able to develop 2 design concept options to bring back in September for further review before releasing to the public for an additional round of comments. So with that, turn it over to Michelle.
Can you turn on your speaker? I'm sorry. There you go. Thank you.
Right. All right. We had a lovely turnout, and we're going to go through those results this evening. After the kind of open house that we had, we also put a survey out online, as you're, I'm sure, well aware, and got an additional input. So tonight we'll show you both of those. Please stop me at any point during this, and if you want to review something or ask a question. It makes it more fun for me too. All right, so where we are today in our presentation, up in the top, we're still in that phase 1 concept planning. And so our public meeting was June 18th. And of course, we're here tonight to review all of that input. And then we'll go into concept planning after we get the input from the board this evening. And then we'll come back in September and show you a couple concepts, like what could it look like? That'll include some 3D images and plan views and lots of color. And after you've given input on those concepts, then we'll update and then we'll go back to the public again with an online survey and get some more input. All right. Overall, we're right on schedule where we need to be. All right, so for the public meeting, we had these wonderful boards. I don't think I've ever seen my board this big. Like, this is the most fabulous screen. And we really were giving everybody kind of that overview, what's going on, welcoming them, and then showing them a little bit of overview, what's going on here. And then you can see here on the left, the lower plan is our existing conditions and the upper shows the proposed location. So people can really get an idea that it's a slight adjustment, but people could give comment on that if they wanted to. And then lots of photos, because when you're here, you don't always remember what actually is at the beach. So we presented some photos for people. All right, and here we were. This is just to give you the real-time photo. These are wonderful people. We had 91 surveys. We had lots and lots of kids come. Most of them didn't fill out a survey, but they helped their parents fill out surveys. So our in-person was 91. Our online was 110. All right, this is what the survey in person looked like. And they really, we actually put the boards back there. So if y'all want to see them, But they just went from board to board and filled out the survey as they went, and then also could add sticky notes to certain things. So I'm going to walk you through the answers of the respondents. This is everybody together. I know you in the board packet, you also got this, so I won't belabor it too long, but I love that our very often and once a week was 58% total. So it was a nice, a good group of people that are using the beach pretty often. All right, and then we asked them to add sticky notes to this board here. And these are some of the top, using the biggest words, like a word cloud, as what people asked for. What do you appreciate about the existing play space? And you can see here. And then what would make it more welcoming in the playground and the water play area? And again, larger letters mean more votes. So then we got very specific with images and pictures. So what would you like to see in the renovated water play area? And so our different themes were, the most popular was nautical, which sort of makes sense. But interestingly, that nature theme was still a quarter of the people. So I think that's something that we'll take into account and kind of maybe bring some nature into it. So there's no reason not to when you have so many people interested, and it is a sort of natural environment being on the lake. And then we gave them a bunch of different options on water tables, and this one here is our was our highest grade, the waterfall with sand table together. So water comes out of the middle spigot, and then the kids can turn it on, and it goes off by itself. All right. So then this was the board. We gave them options on what would you like the playground piece itself to look like, and again, kind of some different themes here. And the nautical again rise to the top with 52%. And these were the images. So we didn't say it'd be any one of these. We said this is kind of the general direction. One of the things that we heard just like kind of verbally was people liked things that were a little more open, a little more see-through, so that they could kind of see the beautiful view and also be able to see their kids. Popular colors. Across the top, you can see our 3 colors, and was a really big surprise that they went with blue. I think you all are seeing the theme here. And then we asked about size. I think that sometimes can make people nervous, like what's going to happen? How's our beach going to change? And so this, I think, was a really good one. And I know we had a few people saying they really appreciated being able to be asked these questions. So you can see kind of the existing size there, and a small, medium, and large, so that people could vote on that. And medium was our favorite, although we had quite a few that said they would be okay with large. And then what other play features, and this had a variety of different things. And then we also asked questions about the swings. There are existing swings there right now. Right now there are 5 belt and 1 ADA. And then separately on another structure, there's 2 tot swings. So there's a total of 8 right now. All right, so first on play features, the sailboat on the left there was the most popular at 27.4, while the mermaid came in at 16.9. So there's some other 16s you can see to the left, a sand and gravel pit, a sandworks, other kind of sand play fun. So I think sand is definitely a favorite, and we may be looking at how we can incorporate some of that and still keep it at that kind of medium size. And I just have to say the sailboat is my favorite. I didn't sway the vote, but it is my favorite. All right, and then so this is our swing answers. And the top one that got 47 votes was 3 belt, 180, a 2 tot, and a group swing. And so you can see here's an option for a group swing. And then this is kind of what we actually give them 3 choices of what the group swing could look like. And this is the one that won at 43%. I actually think they picked really well because the sand goes right through this one. Yeah. It doesn't hold the sand. So, and again, it's also kind of see-through. And this is one other question, kind of maybe getting a little granular, but we asked people if they like the swings all separate in different areas or if they liked them together. And 65% liked the combined swings, which is a change from what you have. I think there's something about, you're pushing one kid and where'd the other one go? So it's kind of a good reason to have them together. And then we give some options on shade, and this full shade over the playground structure is was the top vote getter. And so we'll be looking at seeing how we can do that. This is one way of doing it. There are other ways too that can attach right to the structure.
I have a question since you wanted questions.
Yeah.
For this, is this something that you take down during the winter? Like I'm thinking like during the hot summer, it's fun to have the shade.
It
maybe
used to
you're like,
people often took them down,
uh-huh.
and now people rarely take them down.
Really?
So,
It's
but it
year
is
round.
really up to your department.
Do they, okay, I guess I was just thinking like, does the
Kyle,
handle
maybe you
snow
wanna-
and weather and everything?
Yeah.
For
They
what
do
it's-
wear.
For what it's worth, we do take down what we have currently. Our shades get taken down seasonally, prolongs their life. And to your point, when you may not want as much shade in those colder months, it can be removed. So
Okay,
we currently take down the ones we have.
okay.
Follow-up question. For the shade, are those the only options that you've explored, or are there other types of?
As Michelle said, there's other options that we
Yeah,
can look at.
we could do a big rectangle. We can do different shapes. We could do you can see the posts on the outside of the playground. We actually can do some that are attached to the play equipment and come right up from the middle of it. So we actually have a lot of options, and we'll just kind of see what fits best as we work through the design process. Do you have something you favor?
The only thing I was thinking of is her question, like the ease of being able to take it on and off. And so like in the back of my head, I'm thinking, is there something, and I don't know if it exists, is there something where it's not as manually intensive and you have more control?
I'm thinking of like a basketball where you
Yeah.
can, the basketball.
A fun thing.
Yeah.
Kind of crank it like, because there are going to be days where people
Want,
want it up and want it down. If there is some sort of a self-service option, the problem with self-service
There won't be.
is they break.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
that
don't want
adds
Members of
on.
the community.
no,
to
no more.
self-serve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe it isn't self-service, but in the back of my head, I'm thinking, okay, you're protecting for the sun, but as it gets colder, you might want the sun or different times a day. And so I'm just thinking, I don't know how manually intensive it is, but if there were other options, I don't know.
We can definitely look at that.
I know, Patty,
There are no self-service ones that I know of outside of an umbrella.
I have not seen like a umbrella, but that's not playground
Right.
appropriate. But to the point of the labor intensive nature, if as long as it's putting them up in the spring and taking them down in the fall, generally speaking, it's not an bearing maintenance responsibility. I think I don't want to give any false impression that we would be taking them down and putting them up on a weekly basis based on like weather. But to Michelle's point, I'm not aware of any that are, crank it up, put it down for a commercial playground application.
That's why we asked this question, because it's important to ask, do you want shade or partial shade, or they could said no shade at all, but majority want shade. But I agree, we would take it down in the fall because it would just get damaged anyways down there, and put it back up before we open for the season. So those colder months of people that would want sun, then they get that. But in the summer with the intense heat, I think it would be up permanently until we take it down in the fall. Whichever that one is.
Okay, fabulous. All right. Additional input. So this is our wishing well. So people could, make a wish with one of the gold coins. And so you don't need to read the little pieces of paper. This is also a word wall at the shades being the biggest comments. Keeping the dinghy feature, another really big one. So we have found the manufacturer of the dinghy. They do make another dinghy now, like a brand new one. And we also can get it in a less water use, because your dinghy is a huge water use right now. So we're going to be a little more environmentally sensitive. on the next one, but it will look very, very similar. And then water slides is so far we have not found a water slide that's going to work in this setting. It's generally not something we would do in this situation, but lots of the other pieces that are really going to be able to things that, different options for swings, monkey bars, foot spray. I think these are things that are going to be pretty easy to accomplish.
I have a question. Have we ever explored the sensory sand area for drawing and exploration? That is actually I think it's a great idea. Because there are kids who don't like the beach because of the texture of the sand, but want to be down there.
Yeah.
And I wondered if that ever been discussed within like the park district?
No, we could do something more sensory, but if they don't like sand, then the beach isn't for it's all sand. So we wouldn't never be able to take sand totally out of an application at the beach. Because it's really hard.
No, I get that, but it's a
Yeah.
beach.
Yeah.
Just an interesting idea that whoever put that, a sensory sand area for drawing and exploration.
I think I think that the actual sand table, the way that you can turn on water and play with the different bowls, manipulating is very much a sensory sand experience. In fact, it's one of the best ones out there. And I know a lot of preschool teachers try to get that without, bringing the sand inside the schoolroom. But drawing, we might look at that, like to see, because I know there are these like cool plexiglass things that we could kind of incorporate, real preschool age based, but I think that could be fun.
Yeah, I'm just thinking out loud. I know kids who are the opposite, only want sand and not water.
Yeah. Oh, we have that as part one of the.
And so
Yeah.
I just think, as we
Yeah.
think of this design, is there a way to create a little area that really gets more into that?
Yeah, we could definitely do that. It's just removing sand totally probably would be ideal, but there was, one of the questions was, what sand piece do you like? That has nothing to do with water.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's definitely, I like your point on that. Absolutely.
Yep, I'm looking at the feedback here, updated playground for multiple ages. Did you get any, or did you hear any verbal feedback or get any more feedback as far as do people think that multiple ages aren't served now? Or in what ages are we talking about? Do they want to see it for some older kids, or is it like more focused on, I feel like the younger kids are pretty well served right now.
Yeah. The playground right now has 2 to 5 pieces and 5 to 12 pieces, so it very much well serves. We didn't really get any comments that were, and that's the direction we're still going.
Okay.
Yeah, as far as taking care of both age groups. Yeah.
Okay, so the dinghy, I know it really is a favorite. Like when we first did the drawings for the bond referendum and the dinghy wasn't there, people were upset that it wasn't in the picture.
Like, what were you doing?
And I mean, I've spent a lot of time at this dinghy. One of the things the kids like to do is like make rivers.
Uh-huh.
If it's if it sprays less water, is less water intensive, will they still be able to make their moats? And
Yeah,
then what was the drainage issue everyone was talking about? Was that
that's your moats.
that's
That some people hate them.
but that's what I was wondering if
And then
it's
some people
related. 'cause-
love them. So that's the drainage issue.
So is the issue for who? Because I feel like that's part of
it's
the
also-
play experience.
It's also fresh water. It's not
Yes.
recycled water, so it is, but correct, the water that comes out it's not cheap. And it's a kind of a waste of natural resources, in my opinion, but
Is but it turns off really quickly. So it's
No, I
only
agree.
being used when kids are playing with it. But like, is that the drainage issue? Because I
Yes.
feel like that is such a source of joy.
It
Yeah, I
is.
don't, so
For
I
you,
mean,
it is actually.
It's not
Some
draining
people-
into a
But for
building,
who-
right?
who-
Like it's
who
just
is that?
draining.
Draining right into the sand.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like
So
it
it's not
personally. That's,
impacting into
to me, that's
something.
play.
No.
like,
Yeah.
right, it is, it's, and I'm not saying I'm for or against it. I'm just putting it out there that it is fresh water, it is, a great toy and the kids love it. And it's like my kids built canals. I remember helping them learn about dams and rivers.
yeah,
and this. So
exactly.
no, it's, I'm
Definitely.
just putting it out there. It is one of the less sustainable things that.
And we also have the ability, both via different nozzles for these features as well as valve configuration to control how much water is coming out. So we can adjust, if we don't want to see as much pooling ponding, we have the ability to throttle that back, still have the water play feature without creating as much
Water.
ponding, flooding. But if that's something that is truly desired, I just would caution that, having standing water.
Yeah, I think what people don't like is the, not the tunneling, but maybe the big pool of
Pool, yeah.
standing water.
Right
Mhm.
there.
That's, I think, more what they're talking about, not the, oh, let's do these little dams. But sometimes it gets so bad because someone will sit there
Oh,
that it's a whole,
Yeah.
it's almost like a pond there until it absorbs. So that's, I think, more what they're talking about.
Okay, so it wasn't like other, like the playground equipment or like things like that. It was
No.
that. Okay, anyway, I think there's probably a lot of emotions about that.
There's probably a lot. I completely agree. I mean, I loved it. My kids loved it. I would get there-
favorite part.
I would get there.
Oh, take it away.
It's big as well. And every one of us has tried to see, can we make it go all the way to the lake? Can we? Can we be the ones to do it?
Yes.
So it's a lot of
It's like a
fun.
rite of passage, I feel like.
Yeah.
If
It is.
your
It's fun.
kids live in Glencoe.
Awesome.
So we hear is that the board's consensus is they really like the dinghy and the ability to keep on making those runnels, is what we call them, in the sand.
Yes.
How bad, I never even thought about it. How bad is the situation with the drain? Does it cause significant issues?
Well, given that it's on the beach, it doesn't cause any long-term issues. It's just the amount of time it takes for that water to absorb into the sand. So it's just having that large pooling, ponding, standing there for an extended period of time.
Have you heard complaints?
No, not really. I mean, there's some when it gets too big, that yes, but mostly no.
Okay.
But obviously someone did on their survey, so. But.
Yeah. So
That's, you have to remember that's one person. You cannot, like the sensory
no.
stand area for drawing is one person. So this other survey, this is more just ideas. The other survey, when we ask the questions, more of what the community wants, more of consensus.
My kids were devastated when you took the M out about 10 years ago, remember
Oh,
the-
yeah. So were mine.
Yeah, the M was the greatest.
Really like, actually
Yeah.
that maybe for multiple ages, that type of a thing, because older kids can sit on it when they're congregating.
And then when the kids fall off of it, at least they fall into the sand.
That's true. If people. want the
No, I mean,
fungus
that was not the most safe.
Panorama required us to
that was
take it
not the
out.
They
Safest
took that down.
of our,
Just remember, which I learned during this process, sand is not a proper fall zone,
oh, it's not.
which Michelle could address because she educated that. I was like, oh, it's the fall zone. No, it's
I had
not.
no
So you-
idea.
right, sand will let you fall safely from about 3 feet. So, and we usually, even a 2 to 5 playground will often go to 4 feet high, and a 5 to 12 is going maybe 6 feet or 8 feet. So, so we will use tiles. You actually have been using tiles. Tiles work much better than the actual rubber surfacing that they pour out and kind of trowel. And so we're looking at using those. That also allows an area that somebody that has mobility issues to be able to get through and use the playground and the sand features much easier if you have some mobility issues or your parents or grandparents do. So it's kind of a good balance because it gives us that fall height attenuation, that's safety.
Are there issues like, so for ADA, I totally appreciate that in a non-sand surrounded setting, people can move around easier. But here, just curious, will there be a lot more maintenance required? Because we're going to have like, the wind is going to blow the sand, kids are going to we're going to have, I'm envisioning how this will play out over time is there'll be sand on top of the tiles.
We currently have to do that. We have to clear the sand from the play surfacing. So will be whatever surfacing we use.
Be the same routine.
You'll have to keep
Okay.
clearing it of the playground tiles if over the winter months, wind pushes it and kids bring it up onto the tiles.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
only other alternative is doing a playground that's 3 feet high.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Right. Not as much fun. Nobody, I think, would be super excited about that one. Okay, so this is the quick summary of all of the images in one place. You can kind of see these favored pieces. You can see the direction we're going to go. We're still doing 2 completely different concepts and with different looks, but in the theming that the community has asked for, if you all agree with that. And then I have just a few extra questions kind of to help get some direction, but maybe you want to start with with this.
Our current playground, is it considered medium?
Yeah, I would call it medium. Yeah.
I guess where we start is everybody good with going with the nautical theme?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
How do you guys feel about a nautical theme?
I love it.
Okay, good.
It
I
goes
mean,
with
you
the
guys have a
dinghy.
lot of
Yeah,
experience.
it goes with
Can
the
I-
dinghy.
Before we like go through all 9 of these, is there anything on here, Lisa or Bobby, that, or Kyle, you guys, that give you heartburn? Because to me, these are all options that we gave the public, so I imagine we're all good with them, but.
We
is there
weren't
anything
gonna,
here?
we weren't gonna put anything out there that we weren't comfortable with from a safety and maintenance option.
I would say that the one thing I remember, when the aquatics team came through, they actually were a little more concerned about the sand table that right now gets full with sand all the time. It's, I don't know if you could speak to that, Bobby.
Yeah, and I get some wasps and bees nesting in it too. So people tend to congest it with sand. So that is one thing. So we're constantly clearing that out. Not a deal breaker, but it's just something to bear in mind. It can get pretty clogged.
So
Sorry.
they like that idea of the sand, but so that top image, it's kind of like what we have now. Sometimes the kids just force so much sand in there
Mhm.
that it kind of is harder to use, is what we heard from the staff.
Yeah, I mean, I think like the camps are there and sometimes the water's closed
Mhm.
or like they spend a lot of time on
They love
that
it.
stuff
They
and they
do.
love it. I
It's
think
a
it's
small
worth
price.
It's
it.
not necessarily a reason not to do it, but
Right.
just have to know that that's one of the more labor intensive, maintenance thing. Maybe the aquatic staff has to go there, shovel it out in the morning or whatever.
I think it's a small price to pay if people really enjoy it.
Absolutely.
I don't think it's
Yep.
that much of a burden, but that will be the one thing that we notice we're constantly attending to. But that can be a
That's
part of
something I
it.
would take out because of that.
Okay.
What?
The aquatics team just liked other sand tables better. They still
Yes.
liked the sand table.
There are some other sand tables depicted in we can go back there, but the community picked this one better than
Mhm.
they may have picked some of the other sand tables. And who's to say those other sand tables wouldn't have the same issue? We don't know.
Right.
So.
So then if, since these are selected though, we're not necessarily doing this exactly, right? Like, because we have
Oh,
to actually
no.
figure out how it all
Right.
fits. So
Yeah.
this
And
is just
color palette.
inspiration.
Exactly. Right. We were trying to give them ideas of, different, like nature or nautical, these different kind of looks and ideas to give us some guidance. And next we get to kind of really have fun and play with different ideas.
Do you think in the medium playground size, we're going to be able to accommodate the wish lists or like these top choices?
I guess I would say we might be at the top end of medium, maybe, to get everything in.
Oh, the only one, the swing type, can we accomplish, to your point, that big of, or that long of a swing set system in a medium one? And if not, can we consider breaking it up and staggering it, keeping in mind, because it sounded like maybe the moms cared most about being able to
Be
see that-
close.
Yeah, be close to like both ages of kids, and I appreciate that. But if we can't accomplish that, maybe we could stagger them and have them
Yeah.
really close by.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. It is long when you get all of them together and even,
Two at a
yeah,
time,
I think
I'm
even
sure.
if you took one and tilted the other so they're near but not, that it might work better. So yeah, I think that flexibility probably makes sense. And even like the flex swing, it often makes sense to pull those off to them by themselves because they tend to be very popular. And that way you kind of have this grouping of kids that aren't running in front of somebody who's on a belt swing. So that's one thing we might want to pull apart too.
I know that medium was the top choice, but it wasn't by much, I don't think.
Yes,
So I don't see the negative going larger other than I don't see that. I think that the beach can handle it. I think it does.
The only-
It's not a very valuable spot. Maybe I'm incorrect, but I don't
Mhm.
know.
Correct. We're also mindful of our budget. So
That's the-
that will play a little bit into it because if end up doing like a medium structure, but then we want some of those other, I would call them auxiliary pieces that fit into a large, we want to make sure we accommodate those too.
Well, yeah, of course, budget.
So,
of course
yeah.
we- Budget, I mean, besides budgeting, I meant.
Yeah.
I don't see why the more the merrier. Kids want to play, right? Let them play
Agree.
nice.
or stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and swings often take a big use zone, so it kind of can eat into that space. Okay, so everybody's good with going kind of in that large direction as long as we're meeting our budget.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do have a quick question. When I look at this, the picture of the nautical theme and I see the blue underneath, there's going to be a section that's half kind of some kind of non-sand flooring, it seems like.
Yeah, it'll be tiles. Yep. And they're manufactured inside a factory, and so typically they do have a color range, but we can have a lot of fun with them. They can be part of the design too.
So they could be like a lake. The idea of like the tiles being like a pretend.
Mhm. Pretend land or sea. It could be a checkerboard, and all the cream colored ones are lava. Kids find a way to play with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the color palette, the nautical, obviously that's there's probably 5 shades of blue in there. So we could have some fun. We won't bring back exactly that, but on both of them, but show you some other things and maybe even a pop of color somewhere with the shade or the flooring. Does that sound good?
I really like those colors. And I think they'd go nicely with the saffron building. So that's the one piece of advice I think that I make sure is no matter, just make sure that it ties into the building color wise, which all those do. They all would look great with the saffron building right there.
Typically, how long would we expect this playgrounds to be in use or before you change again?
20 to 25 years.
22.5. Okay. All right. It's a long time. So color choices, it's always hard to guess the future, isn't it? But
Yeah, I wouldn't go with lime green on this one.
yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But whatever is also what's gonna be long term, 10 years from now, 12 years from now, what's gonna matter? People are gonna like in that age.
I don't think blue goes out of style, which is
No,
kind
blue
of
is fine.
nice.
Yeah, I look at the yellow and I look at that one. That's kind
Yeah.
of.
Yellow and red would make me nervous.
Yeah.
Somebody said no tacky color.
I
And
saw
they,
that
and
and
they
I agreed.
fade. fast, so.
Yellow does?
Yellow and red
Yeah.
fade
Yeah.
terribly.
I
so.
love the blues. I think that was a good.
Yeah.
Would you expect the shades to last 22.5 years?
No, the shade does not
Okay.
last that long.
That's what,
No.
okay.
They often have 5 to 7 year warranties, and I
Okay.
think you often can get 10 to 12 years out of them.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah. But you guys take them down, so you might get a little longer.
Stretch that a little bit.
That's right. All right, so we're good with the sailboat and the mermaid's fountain. It's good with those guys. And like I said, we might pull in something else that fits. I'm just going to point out, people really like the pelican up on top. So we're going to look at a way to fit the pelican into one of the concepts. Another comment that came up was adding misting tunnels or water guns, which we actually don't call guns, we call cannons. And so I'd love to hear your input on those 2 items.
What are missing tunnels?
Yeah.
So it would be like you walk under it and it's doing water down on you.
That would be fun.
That would be.
Yeah.
Right now we have some things that people don't really use, right, that are supposed to be like that.
mushrooms.
Yeah,
They like the mushrooms one. Yeah.
but maybe the tunnel might
I
be
just-
for success.
Less water usage too.
I think of it like when your kids get overheated, right? And they don't want to go into the water. You just need to quickly rinse off like in water. And that's what a tunnel would seem very intuitive and logical.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
like that
good.
idea.
So we like the tunnel.
Yeah.
How do we feel about the cannons? You'd have 2, of course.
Would those be like on the boat and how would those work?
Usually we'll do them at ground level because we won't do them with a use zone because we don't want people to fall near the cannons in any case, but they swivel like this. You can make them swivel. You can set them for like 180 or 45, and then there's somebody over there and they have a cannon too. And so you get to just, shoot water at them.
Water cannons are awesome. I mean, like, it just sounds so fun. I mean, I'm not certain that people passing by, walking by, like you see an adult, but like,
But it is
they're
a
great.
lot.
It's a lot. I mean, like, if we're going for a fun theme, I mean,
Yeah.
I think and it's on a boat, you can feel like you're a pirate, you
That's what I was
know?
gonna say, if it
It's
wasn't,
super
if that
fun.
boat is just in the sand and.
No, Lisa's looking at me like I have 3 heads.
That would be
so I
fun.
wanna-
Oh, I like water cannons. You have to be careful that we're not going to put the water features by the shade necessarily, because then
Yeah.
the shade, the sand doesn't get to dry off. So those will be a little bit away from
That's fine.
that. I see the boat as a perfect place, and you with toddlers, putting the toddlers in there. So I don't know if you want the water cans on those necessarily, because if you have multiple kids and you have like a 1-year-old, you can put them in that little boat as you run after another one. I don't, that's just a thought.
I mean, the cannon thing is fantastic. It just has to, you don't want to be bugging someone else with it, which is what kids would do.
And they do have a range. So we would not put
You have to
them
control
where,
that, yeah.
you're walking by and just going to, somewhere else.
Around the swings, and everything else, because
Yeah.
that's exactly the first thing I would do right now. Now, I.
I just know as a parent, I'm gonna get dry.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's part of the
It's-
fun.
It's for the kids who don't want to be drenched.
And-
Want to stay with.
Yeah.
That's the only negative. Otherwise.
Yeah,
I'm all-
you shouldn't
I'm all
be
in.
on the playground structure and being shot with a cannon. We
And
don't want that.
They'll have a range in terms of the stream of water, but also
Yeah.
radius. It'll, not make a full
Yeah.
360. So you
I-
can
I
control
would-
where you're.
Just at a playground that had this over the weekend. It only went like 18 inches. It wasn't very far and it only went like,
Yeah, okay.
it was,
the kids
you
like
can
it?
control it a lot.
Still?
Oh, the kids loved it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
But-
Yeah.
You can control it really short if you need to.
I mean, honestly, I think this would drive up pass sales,
I-
like all
yeah.
these new features. I think
For
you're gonna
sure.
get a big bump. Like, this is like a destination with water cannons.
Well, so it's sort of what you're saying, when Gary brought up the point of, the more the merrier. If it was larger and it is in budget, the benefit could be that it's going to drive sales.
I mean, we only get to do this every 22.5 years, so. So, so it's like, it's do as much as you
Love
can.
it. Okay. Awesome. That's great. And then there was also a request for monkey bars for a couple of people. Do you guys have a feeling, and maybe this is a Kyle question too, is on having monkey bars down at the beach?
I mean, when they had the M, which was kind of a monkey bars, I know my kids loved it. I don't know how it is from a Paderma or a safety or a maintenance. Does it rust more? What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah.
I would love to know your thoughts on this.
From my perspective, as long as it's over the proper
Mhm.
safety surfacing, it's not any more of a maintenance burden than any other type of play equipment. So I don't have my kids love
I mean,
monkey
you-
bars. I don't have a,
You are going to have teenagers that go on top of it and do
Silly stuff.
Yeah.
silly things that probably not necessarily what it was designed for, but like they do on top of the
I think
building by the tennis courts.
Yeah.
we see older kids use every piece of play equipment that we have in a way that it's, not intended for. And that's just the nature of having a playground. I mean, I wouldn't shy away from something that we like to see
Okay.
on our playgrounds for the intended age.
Yeah.
Because we're concerned about somebody misusing it. That's the way I would frame it.
There is a possibility to do that and incorporate it into the playground feature.
The actual structure?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that would work fine.
What do you
Okay.
think?
I actually think it's an important part of play. I think it is a higher likelihood that people will get hurt. But we saw that with the early childhood playground when we took them out and at the beach. I don't think it's a reason not to do it though, because I think it's an important part of play. That's how you learn to pull yourself up, how to play with others.
It's healthy.
It is healthy.
Body
It is healthy.
Strength and.
I'm all.
So
You do see more injuries on them,
Do.
but again,
Yeah.
that's not a reason not to. We need
Correct.
to challenge our children through playing in controlled environments. So
I agree with
Okay,
that.
fabulous. Or is there anything else that you all have been thinking about for these spaces that you want to make sure gets into the vision?
I mean, the only one thing that I was thinking about is, and I just don't know how it goes, our most popular park has and it's expensive, I hear you, is Duke Park, which has the water spouts. That's,
Do they jump?
it's all that fun stuff, isn't it?
Okay.
yeah, it's
They are.
It's the only, it's so popular. Everyone loves it. It's such a hot place and sometimes kids don't like the whatever, but other than that, I mean, to me, you've hit the mark of the things that kids really like. But
I know that's really cool. And you're going into the splash pad is what
Yeah,
you're talking
splash
about. It's very hard to keep those clean in sand environments.
Okay.
It's hard enough to keep them clean without, but
Yeah.
if you tried to put the blowing sand we have,
Yeah.
I don't know if that would be that best application. I agree. It's a great amenity. People love it at Duke. I think we should leave it at Duke. But the misters,
Right.
the cannons and
Yeah.
all those are all doable. They're not on the
Good.
ground level,
Mhm.
with all that sand.
People like variety too. They like that every park is different, I feel like, and
Yeah.
they like that it's specific to a specific park. So they're probably looking for something similar but different.
Different.
I'm
yeah.
good. You guys seem to hit the mark.
Hopefully the misters
Yeah.
would be, you're right about cooling down, running under the misters, and that doesn't take too much water out. The cannons don't take too much water, you know, because it's all fresh water. It's not recirculated.
I'm actually wondering if you're gonna need misters for adults. Like, I'm serious, like people,
Oh, I would go in the tunnel.
people,
if
I
I
mean,
was-
I'm definitely going to tunnel.
But
like- But like you see that now at different area, like at bars, in outdoor bars,
I
they
went to a
have,
restaurant and they had the misters
Yeah,
coming.
they
down.
have it. So like,
Yeah.
I think you're
hot
gonna,
still
I
at
think it's
places.
gonna hit the mark for, I think you're gonna see adults in the tunnel.
Well, global warming, our summers are gonna get hotter.
You believe in that.
I do, on the record.
On the record, I was, being serious. But,
I think you bring up something interesting.
but like you're gonna see
Yeah.
adults use the misters.
Yeah, like adults, I hate to say it, adults get hot too. Like we're the ones sitting in the sun while we're trying to keep the kids in the shade and keep them entertained. So like, of course, we're gonna, if there's a mister there, I'm gonna run through it.
Yeah, we're not gonna put it like this high for just 3-year-olds. Michael, I want, when we open it, I want to see you run through.
Don't.
That's
don't
on the
threaten
record.
me.
Can we make sure that's in the minutes?
I've been in the dunk booth and I've done, taken plenty of water for this park, but like, I do think I'm wondering if it's, do you want to incorporate the misters someplace else? Is it worth it to think about the sun shelters
In the
having
sun
misters?
shelter.
Something to think about, because I think it's gonna be popular.
Have you guys seen that at other
Running.
parks? Particularly like, maybe like more of
Not at splash pads. Absolutely, we do see them all the
the
time.
misters.
Yes, yes, at splash pads and things like that. Beach applications, not as much, but that doesn't mean that's not
Yeah,
doable here.
I mean, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Everything on here is perfect. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I just put it out there that you're gonna have a high demand.
Yeah.
of it, I think.
Just be careful of the cost of running
Yes.
water, running it across multiple locations, clearing it out, breakages in the winter, like
Yes,
causing
I
the
wouldn't
steam
put
out.
it at
Yeah.
the on shelters. I get it, but that we
No.
have to run water and,
Yeah.
and that's good. Now
Nope, I hear you. You're right.
we're trying to keep the water located in the spray
The same
area.
general area of the playground currently.
But I guess with that, I would say I agree with what Gary's statement. Like we have, 22 and a half years. I think, hot summers, this could be very important amenity to the community. So I think it's worth the additional investment
I
if
agree.
we are able to fit into the budget and can build out those water features. Is there anything else you needed for feedback from us?
This was great.
Okay, and then so what's the next? I think you had walked us through steps in the beginning, but what should we?
But let's review because that was a lot of information. So our next plan is to take all this great feedback and go come up with 2 full concepts. We'll vet those with the staff team and then we'll bring them back to you in September. After you've given input, then we'll make updates and take them to the public with an online community input. Yeah, so that's our plan. And we're slowly working towards a final plan that will do construction documents later this year and into next year.
Excellent. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you, Michelle.
That'll be a great job. Okay. With that, I think we can move forward to an update on the financial report. If you want to go ahead, Sean.
Thank you, President Spain. Thank you, Erica, for getting this up and running. At this meeting, this is typically where we kind of recap where we're at in terms of quarterly projections and really looking budget to actual compared to what our projections are. So in lieu of the standard financial report tonight, just have a very brief presentation here, PowerPoint that I'll talk through where we're at. And do bear in mind that these numbers are as of May 31, which is our first fiscal quarter. Shout out to the recreation team and the Parks Department for pulling these numbers together. It's such a busy time for them. A lot of the work being done obviously in June when programming's up and running. So really appreciate their effort on this and getting us these numbers just so we could have a good idea as to where we stand initially as we get into the into the second part of our fiscal year here. So obviously, I know we have 3 new commissioners here now, so wanted to just spend a little more time on our budget timeline, just kind of talk through it. And you'll see from the slide here that it really is kind of morphed into nearly a year-long process. In the middle of May is when we kind of ramp it up and we start talking about, you know, the projections and the process and the timeline, things like that. The summertime is really looking at projections and initial budget amounts. September through November is when we really ramp up, and staff are really working hard going through the budgeted amounts, first drafts, second drafts, going through the capital budget, things of that nature. December and January is really the heavy lifting for the finance department, pulling together the entire budget book, which is a pretty lengthy document, as at least 2 of the board members know. I believe everybody all the board members got last year's budget. And then we present it in early February. The budget's then approved formally in March. And then in April, we approve the budget and appropriation ordinance, which gives us the authority to be able to spend district funds. And that needs to be filed with the county clerk by the end of our first fiscal quarter, which is again, May 31st. So there's a lot of numbers on this slide, and this is just a quick kind of 30,000-foot view as to where we stand in terms of budget versus projections at the end of our first fiscal quarter. And in all, the bottom number there, where we had initially budgeted for an excess revenue over expenditures across all funds of $4,170,000. We're projecting now to be at about $4,589,000, so that's about $420,000. Most of that comes in the capital funds down there at the bottom, which I will speak to on the next slide. You'll see the corporate fund is pretty flat, right around $13,000, that $1,058,000 compared to now projecting a little better at $1,071,000. And then our recreation fund is about $45,000, $46,000 better than what we had initially budgeted for. The 939 was the initial budget, and we're projecting out now to be at about 985,000. Not much change at all in the other operating funds. So again, just highlighting some of the changes. The 2 biggest ones that I mentioned on the previous slide were related to our recreation fund and our capital project funds. So as far as rec programming, really looking at the programming itself and some of the shifts in revenue. And one thing that we noted initially is that Finish Strong Athletics is actually going to be coming in a little less than what we had budgeted for. I think we developed our budgets based off of what Finish Strong was anticipating, and those numbers came in a little less than we had expected. So to the tune of about $81,000 less than what we were expecting in terms of net revenue. Fortunately, we were able to offset that though with some of our other core, very popular camps, Game On, Action Quest, and certainly the after school programming with Kids Club continues to do very well. So I think that speaks to, you know, our diversity in our income streams, not only our income streams, but within even our camp revenue. You have a specialty camp like FSA that, you know, came up a bit short this year. And I think the long-term outlook, and the rec team can probably speak a little more to it, but the long-term outlook with FSA is still very good. They're investing in their resources and they want to be here and build a very good program, which we're confident they will.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Sorry. 81,000 short. What was the projected?
The projected number for FSA was, top line revenue was 830-ish, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, around that.
So about 10%.
10% from a revenue perspective. Yeah.
Have you spoken with FSA to find out like what could be driving that drop?
So It's a new program for us. So they moved from they basically split the organization and they moved down to us here in Glencoe. So they took a couple of years off as they restructured their business. And now they're basically growing it from the ground up again. They have a strong following, but when you take a couple of years off, it takes some time to recover. So they have a very strong brand. They didn't have the kind of what some of these popular camps do is they auto renew. They get you at the end of summer camp to sign up for the next year. They didn't have that opportunity. So I think there's a great opportunity for them to grow. They've also been investing in some buses and their infrastructure, their team. So, we came out fully swinging for the fences with this one, and it came up a little short. We were we're still an excellent enrollment with the majority of the participants outside of Glencoe. So we just were kind of swinging for the fences because we thought it was going to be a home run. It did pretty well. It just didn't hit the mark.
On the other ones, year over year, are you seeing growth in like Game On Girls, Action Quest Kids Club? Or are you guys plateaued in that program?
No, we continue to see growth in those programs. They're very popular programs. Kids Club obviously is doing really, really well with the renovation at Weinberg, and the rec programming does continue to be very strong, and we're seeing growth.
Yeah, we some staple programs is what I call them. And those are the ones that are on there, and they continue, we keep on investing in them. We continue to see growth year after year.
If you looked at the board packet, you'll see Action Quest total enrollments are down about 100, but revenue's flat. What ended up happening was kids took multiple 1-week sessions, really enjoyed it, and parents realized the value proposition of sign up for the whole summer is probably as good a value as signing up for 3 or 4 separate weeks. So what we've basically done with all of our traditional camps is they'll sign up for a week or 2, and then we move them into 4 to 8 weeks in the future. So we're seeing a lot of 4 and 8 week sessions. So the enrollment numbers go down because of the way we count them, but revenue tends to stay the same or grow.
Make a budget on something.
We dreamed.
Like-
We wait till
Like,
it's
I mean, if
fine.
you look, they're all black guys. And
Bobby said we swung for the fences on that
Going for
one.
the fences.
I wanted to, I was going to ask this during the executive director's report, but for Kids Club, are we going to have to start waitlisting people? I mean, that enrollment seems,
Our goal is to utilize that building as much as we can, and
so we're okay.
at the
Because
moment,
it seems like we've had multiple discussions, right, with expanding children's circle and
Mhm.
everything, and that the 2-parent working household seems to be more dominant now, and the need for these programs. So, okay, so we're able to accommodate those kids, and that's not
we are. So one interesting statistic, we're doing some analysis on enrollment in District 35 right now. So I don't know if anyone else has been following it, but in May, they were expecting the kindergarten class to be 80 compared to 130 last year. So now they're at 99. So there's about a 30 child drop in kindergarten for us. So that's a pretty significant for a town like Glencoe. So obviously that's a significant demographic we're watching. But that will impact Kids Club. Adam was just telling me this morning that we have 4 additional enrollments today for Kids Club. So last year, I think we had a third of all kindergartners in Kids Club. Obviously a third of 99 versus 130 is going to be less. So when we get a small class like that, that does impact us. But overall, to your point, is we are seeing absolutely both parents, both guardians working, the need for extended care, the need for extended camps. And those are really our bread and butter that people are signing up for.
So the Kinder Corner enrollment was down this year too.
Correct.
So are we expecting that to come through for all of these camps?
Yes.
And then what do we know about I guess, other years? I don't know was there a COVID baby boom or was it a COVID baby slump?
I think it could be just the fact that we'll move up here for kindergarten, and with the housing market
Yeah.
and the way interest rates are,
Yeah.
people are not moving.
That's right.
There aren't. as
That's-
many homes
So-
for
I
them.
think people are-
That's right.
That's what we're hearing.
So we've
Okay,
seen-
so it
I've
might be
seen-
longer or less.
But I
Yeah.
have
It might-
heard that the next grade, is going to be bigger than this kindergarten one. I don't know.
How many are in our kids? I think we had one.
Ours is
we had like-
really big. The
we had
7th,
150.
the 7th
Yeah.
grade is. very
Yeah,
big.
the 7th grade is
No,
big.
no, it's not gonna-
Betty and, yeah.
Betty's, yeah, that's a big one.
It's 150 or something.
Yeah, I think Texas was
And the 8th grade was like 170, like the grade above theirs. So they've been getting, they're a little smaller.
Okay, so this will channel through the camps and
Yes.
everything.
Yeah.
So
It will.
we might
It will.
start seeing declines
Mhm.
revenue and
Right.
enrollment,
Yeah,
and
it
that should
possibly-
be-
It's 1 year, but yeah, it's something we're absolutely watching. It's so,
Watch the trends on those and
Yeah.
a budget accordingly.
so District
Yeah.
35 did a demographic analysis last year and they projected around 1,200 students pretty consistently within 15 to 20 students every year. They're down, I think, for 1,150 this year. So they're down about 60 because of various different people moving out of town, whatever it might be. So we'll continue to watch it. We have seen swings like this before. Our program has continued to gain traction outside of Glencoe too, and that's why with FSA, Game On, majority of those participants are non-residents. So that is a really nice diversified portfolio of programming too. So 30 students is not terrible, but it's definitely something on our radar.
Do we do like studies on, I guess I was thinking like market share? Like, so are we picking up a bigger percentage of kids, do you think, in our programs though? Like, I guess I'm thinking if like we're a really good value
Mhm.
or like Kids Club, I think is a good alternative to a nanny,
Yeah.
you know, that you're to pay for all sorts of hours. Like, are we picking up more of the kids?
I think we have some things we'll never pick up on, like sleepaway camp. It's just kind of like a rite of passage for some people. But I think it depends on what's going on in the economy. Sometimes people are signing up for ours versus Banner or for some of the more specialty camps, and sometimes it goes the other way. We have a very large portfolio of programs compared to most districts. For 8,600 people, we do an enormous amount of camps. So it is a business risk that we do over $2.5 million worth of revenue, which has basically gone a 2.5x in the last 4 or 5 years. But the quality and the survey results and the feedback we're getting from parents is outstanding. So that's confident that if we keep doing that, we're going to keep getting those enrollments. It's just a matter of the demographics shift a little bit more.
It's
We-
really
we-
interesting because on the plan commission, I guess when we're talking about affordability, so I was part of the comprehensive plan and we had a meeting because I'm the park district rep on the plan commission a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about affordable housing in Glencoe. It's like a perennial issue where it's always brought up and nothing gets done about it. So like the way the zoning is set up right now, a lot of the lots with more affordable entry houses for like those kindergarten parents, they're non-conforming lots, so they're getting like zoned automatically to be torn down and bigger houses built on them. So the discussion is to like change the zoning code in Glencoe to allow for diversity in housing stock, but the way it is right now, everything that comes in is probably like out of
Outreach, yeah, you see the
and,
turnouts lately.
and it doesn't seem like a response is imminent, and it doesn't seem sustainable. And frankly, I don't think people understand the consequences for the community just based on the past 2 years of being in that group. I mean, I think the plan commission does, but a lot of the people who are active and showing up to these meetings don't have kids and don't have this affordability issue. So it's just, I think it's going to be a struggle.
Start banking on the new houses in the Uber estate to be like, oh, we have, more people coming in.
I don't think those are going to be like
They're not affordable.
affordable.
No, they're not for affordable, but
Yeah.
in terms of.
I think they're 100.
You're seeing more and more people buying the lot next door, and tearing it down and having that lot. And you're seeing people not, taking 2 small houses and building one big, and that has an impact on them.
Yeah, so we've encouraged the trustees to change the zoning code to allow
To encourage keeping the homes then, the existing homes.
existing homes, or making it easier to incentivize maybe
renovate.
renovation or allowing the
They
lot
have a lot.
size to not be non-conforming.
It is very difficult to renovate a current home in Glencoe. So they've got some work to do.
Mhm.
But I think it's the way it impacts us. The way it impacts us, because I don't think we need to delve into the village's zoning thing, but we just need to be really cognizant of what we're investing in the community and understand if there's an impact to our tax revenue and understand if there's an impact to the demand of our programs.
You know, it might be interesting to even be more vocal. I'm thinking for the park district and the school district with the village, because from the village perspective, right, bigger homes, you know, tax dollars, the incentives might be different for the village versus the school district and the park district. So
Mhm.
just throwing that out there.
And maybe to see, we haven't been impacted yet, right? It doesn't look like as far as enrollment goes. So we need to keep a very close eye and see maybe
Yeah.
with this next
And,
class,
and
if the
we,
younger
Yeah.
grades are impacted.
we actually
programs.
watch the trends. That's why Bobby brought up, we also diversify our programming. So we have resident, and non-resident rates and for example, FSA Game On attracts people from Highland Park and Northbrook. So because we're doing those kind of programs, we're not totally relying on
Mhm.
just Glencoe residents to come to our camp. We have a little more diversification.
Mhm.
We also see that if the economy's not doing so great, our camps go up because ours is a very affordable and just as good, maybe not all the bells and whistles, some of those banners and things like that, but they're fun. The kids will love them and the parents are more likely to come to our camps in those type of economies.
Yeah,
So
I don't think it's time to panic. I think it's just
no,
one
we're not,
data
we
point
just watch
that
it. We're just bringing it up
very,
to you and
very
watching. Yeah.
worth looking at.
I'm gonna say really quick. The one area for you guys, another data point that I think is worth for you guys to pay attention to is New Trier High School. So I think it was back in April, one of their meetings did do a similar projection and did start to look at what enrollment's going to look like. And there is a cliff coming.
Mhm.
It's not just Glencoe, it's across the board
Mm-hmm.
because of the issue Michael pointed out. That this isn't just a Glencoe issue, this is a New Trier
Right.
district-wide issue.
Absolutely.
And so as we think about the programming, I mean, I'd
Mhm.
have to study it more, but I would not decelerate investment. Because if nothing else, it keeps going with what we've already done. And it's very hard to build a brand. And what
Right.
I'm hearing from the group is you've built a brand, it's doing well, it's drawing from other communities. And so to me, the real question is not so much what the Village of Glencoe is doing, it's what is all of the New Trier community doing? Because you're probably pulling from those communities as well.
We are. Mhm. Especially Northbrook and Highland Park,
Mhm.
the ones we pull from.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so we've always had that model. We've always done that. We've always had affordable non-resident rates, make it, there is definitely a difference, but it's not, we don't make it unattainable for non-residents next door. We know we rely on those. We always really have.
And our expenses are incremental, right? Every enrollment we get, the expenses go up. We have that kind of 50% net margin. So every person we take is great revenue that we use towards paying fixed expenses. But if enrollment does go down, those expenses do go down, and something like
There's
camp
enough
as well.
variable built in.
Yes,
that's
there's a
gonna-
variable.
So it's pretty low fixed cost, it sounds like. So
Yeah, it's pretty fixed. Yeah, so we basically,
High fix.
it's high fixed rate. He just said it's
so
high
our
variable.
fixed costs are our fixed costs, like the building. and,
Yeah.
Right.
our
Yeah, I
Program
wouldn't say they're
managers, but
low, but yeah.
yeah, our indirect expenses, basically, when we do our categories of service, which we'll discuss in the fall for budgeting, like programs are 30% net margin, camps are around the 50% net margin, and those go to pay the overheads of this building, the electricity, our insurance, those things.
It's even more just maybe I'm wrong, Michael, or someone check me, but like if we've already got this fixed cost and we've already built a brand, whether there's 30 kids or less is sort of a minute point because we do have to cover those costs and we are already know we're pulling from
Yeah.
other communities.
Yeah, I think, and we can delve into this probably offline a little
Yeah.
bit, but the way that, Bobby and the finance folks look at margin is very different here than you would in the private sector. And
Yes.
so Bobby's not looking at the camp margin. He's not looking at what percent of this fixed building is being allocated to the camp.
Yeah.
So we do asset-based accounting and they don't do it here. So I mean, we have sort of the benefit, I think, of, our fixed costs and John knows this better than anybody, like our fixed costs can be spread across probably a lot of the taxpayer base, but we're about 50%, 45% revenue comes from taxes, about 55% comes from programming.
Higher.
I don't know what your cost structure is coming from fixed costs versus programming, but the programming you can scale up and down really easily.
And,
Right.
and it's very, to be honest, it's very diversified with Children's Circle being
Right.
close, going to be close to $3 million of the 9 million. GJK is another $1 million with the revenue. Like, so there's a lot of diversification in there. So if one area, we have beach revenue, we have ice rink revenue. So I wouldn't be sounding the panic alarms just yet.
Yeah, no.
Well, we'll do some presentations in the
Yeah.
fall, which will hopefully make things a little clearer
Yeah.
about the diversification. But we're not heavily focused in one sector that if it fell off a cliff, excuse me, if it came off a cliff, we'd be in trouble.
And I totally agree with that. I don't think there's sound for alarm,
Yeah.
No.
but I do think certain programs will be impacted more. And so we saw this, Glencoe used to have our kids, well, your kid and my kid had half-day kindergarten. And when we had half-day kindergarten, the Park District made a good penny off of sort of substantiating their half of the day because parents needed full-day coverage. That program went, was that called Kids Club? Was that what Kids Club was?
It was Kinder Connect
Kinder Care or
Culture.
Or care or something.
It was multiple
So I
names.
think certain programs are more susceptible. And look, GJK is going to have the same problem that we're going to have. And so if you see less kids moving in, we're going to have less kids in Children's Circle. They'll have less kids in GJK.
We do a great job evolving and
Right, but we
pivoting.
may have better summer camp for the adults. Like I'm not concerned.
Yeah, I guess that's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to articulate. Nothing I'm hearing is making me say there's a problem. Like,
No, and there shouldn't be.
Yeah.
We're doing very well. And all we're trying to say, and what Bobby's point was, is that we watch all of that. We watch the data, we watch the census, we watch what the schools' data, and we plan for that. And we look at trends and we forecast out. And we're not concerned. If we were, we would bring a much more robust
Yeah.
report than this. We are fine, and we'll just keep it evolving and looking at those things. That's really the point.
Well, I guess with that, maybe we should let John finish his
Yeah.
report.
There you go.
For what it's worth, New Trier sees a bounce back in the year 2030.
So,
that is right. That is
So
that
where's
is-
the data here? That's,
Yes. That is, that's what they said. Yes.
All right, well, let's talk about capital projects.
Yeah,
So we know
I'll-
how much we have to spend for.
All great conversation though, for sure. But as far as, again, I mentioned about $420,000. Projections are ahead about $420,000. The lion's share of that is within the capital project funds. Fund 68 is approximately $200,000, those first two bullet points. So reminder, Fund 68 is our 2025 bond proceeds fund, and that is the A&E that is directly tied. It's about 10% of the construction costs. So based on the final construction estimates that we received, we have adjusted down the A&E accordingly. So that's going to result in less expenditures of about $200,000 out of Fund 68, assuming everything stays as planned at this point. Kyle discussed at the June committee meeting the favorable bids that came back for both Shelton and Milton. So that made up about another $104,000 of the better projected numbers when compared to budget. We did make our capital transfer this month. So for fiscal 26, we transferred $2,450,000. That's what we had committed for in our budget. And the board approved that committed fund balance at the February board meeting. So we just wait to finish up our audit, and then we go ahead and transfer that money over to Fund 69. So again, $1 million from the corporate fund and $1,450,000 from the recreation fund, all to fund future capital projects. Obviously, non-bond related projects will be covered with these transfers. Then just a quick property tax update. So property taxes have been very inconsistent the past three years or so. Last year, we got back to what is considered a normal cycle where we're collecting our first installment in March and April primarily, and then that second installment comes late in the summer. And we also have a good idea of where we stand on our final rates right around now. And we returned to that cycle last year, and unfortunately, we've reverted back to delays this year. So I don't know if anybody has seen in the news, but the Cook County Assessor's Office is converting their system over, and it resulted in a missed deadline with the Department of Revenue. And so ultimately, it's going to result in once again, a delay in the second installment of property taxes. For those who were here 2-3 years ago, we didn't get that second installment well into winter, December, January. The expectation is that it'll be a little sooner. Won't be that lengthy of a delay for the second installment this year. But that points to the importance of our prudent financial policies and really making sure that we're maintaining adequate fund balance when we do encounter these types of situations. This could get really dicey when you're dealing with bonds that the principal payments are typically due on December 1, and if you don't have reserves, you got to kind of figure out then how you're going to fund those bond payments. Hopefully, we're not going to extend too far out on the second installment. But nonetheless, we have collected that first installment. You'll see here that we've gotten a little less than 3.6 million, budgeted about 6.9 million in total property taxes. So once we get those final rates, I'll provide kind of an update as to where those rates stand on compared to what we had budgeted for, and ultimately those rates will drive the change in the projections for this first quarter. Obviously, our projected property taxes were exactly the same as what we've budgeted because we had no new information thus far. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you.
All right, great. Thank you.
Next, we're on to the executive director report, which is available in the board packet. So Lisa's going to start us off with a summary.
Just going to do a high level summary. In Appendix A, you'll find the 2025 annual recreation program enrollment report outlining all the programs enrollment and the amounts paid. So we do that yearly for your information. Independence Day celebration was extremely successful thanks to our wonderful team. All full-time staff work either the 3rd or the 4th, and it went without a hitch. And these big events are very nerve-wracking now, but it was very well organized, great cooperation with the village, public safety, and public works. It's very cohesive and just making it safer and safer and, fun for everybody. And the fireworks were spectacular. So to take-off closure, we have an annual maintenance for takeoff once a year for about a week. So that happens August 11th through the 15th. So the offices are closed. They do carpet cleaning, major, small projects throughout the building, just clean Children's Circle really well. That's the week they're off. So the office is closed, but people can call and we have set up remote to answer. And then Bobby and Kyle are both on site that week, but everybody else really works from home that week. So it's kind of a slow week anyways for that. Business services, we have the annual comprehensive final report at last month's meeting. So that's there in the treasurer's reports under action items. Marketing communication, do you want to give an update, Erin?
Fall guide is out. We're doing 3 registrations this time. And Bobby and Kyle can talk about that. But we did do a little PSA and we are working to make sure the website is all updated with the new cloud changeover. For the community visioning statement meetings, I did want to point out we did a couple of email blasts and 7 different social media posts for the playground set, which helped get that number of respondents. We are now working on the structures. Happy to report we have even more participation than the playground. We're at 306 survey respondents so far. Lots of opinions. It's very interesting. And then our park store, this report says 60 items. We're up to 77 sold. So we're having fun with it. It's easy money. We don't do anything. So
We are finding great participation with our online surveys for our projects. We saw that with Milton. We have seen it with these two projects. So we really get the word out, but that's where we see, when we had the, for the shade structure and the beach house and things like that, we probably had 30 at the in-person meeting, but we're up to over 300 in the online. So that's where I think young families who maybe can't get to a meeting are engaging in that way. So we've been very successful. I don't know if any of you watched a little intro video for our survey this year. So for the beach house, Bobby and Kyle
You
did a
guys-
great job.
You guys did a nice job. You guys are all dressed the
Yeah.
same.
They did a great job explaining
Oh, we
before the
noticed.
survey went out. So that was kind of a new thing that we did, just to kind of explain a little bit more. And we're doing more and more of those live videos throughout the thing. So Aaron's doing a great job on that. Bobby and John, you want to explain a little bit about registration and why we made some of those changes?
Sure. Yeah. I'm sure everybody remembers the frustrations that we all experienced with the last registration, with the server issues. And so we have converted over to being hosted by VSI, which our hope and we're confident and hopeful that the registration will go a lot smoother now. We will have that virtual waiting room option, which seems to work very well at other districts. We've, done our research, speaking with other districts. L6 has been involved every step of the way, working with VSI. So we're very confident that the hosted solution with VSI will work. Virtual waiting room will be a nice tool for families. And also staggering the dates just to ensure that we're doing all we can to make it as smooth of a registration process as possible.
So our youth program registration is next Tuesday, and then we've separated out adults. So that's on Thursday at noon. So the adults, we had feedback that they don't like to get up at 7 a.m. to enroll in programs. So hopefully noon will work well for them. So we're hopeful. There's some good processes in place in that virtual waiting room, similar to what you get in Ticketmaster or Ravinia. Will hopefully make a big difference. People just need to stay in line, don't refresh the browser, and it should work well.
we also added a wish list feature.
Yeah.
So you can put your stuff in your wish list ahead of time. So when you're ready to register, move things over.
Nice new enhancements.
So we're hoping with all that, with separating the registration a little bit and doing some of those things that will improve greatly. So we do still, I'm going to be honest, we have a large demand, probably more than most park districts exactly when we open. So that's why that waiting room will be helpful. So thank you. Kyle, do you want to give a parks update?
Yeah, just a few quick project updates. So the Shelton Park gazebo refurbishment was completed in late June. Turned out very nice. So excited to put that one behind us. The tennis court and pathway project is slated to begin in middle to end of August. Milton Park is slated to begin in the middle of September. Obviously, maintenance and ball field, the GMP is before the board tonight. We'll be preparing the early first wave of bid packages, hopefully for release in the next 1 to 2 weeks, which will start to line up that construction to begin in early to mid-September. And then greenhouse, we're just wrapping up final design and preparing for bidding on that project.
As we move to recreation, just kudos, I know Adam's here. So Adam's really with our recreation manager in charge of camps leaving right before camp. Adams has taken over the lead of that. Has done a phenomenal job.
Yes.
As he oversees all the camps. And so until we get our new employee, but kudos to the recreation team for both the camp and the beach and how well they're being operated. So I'm going to throw it on over to Bobby.
Well, we're very excited. Emily Holmberg is joining us tomorrow. She's the new program manager for Camp Arts and Kids Club. She has over 10 years of programming experience working both Illinois and is moving actually from Florida back to Illinois. So through our network, we're able to connect with her. So we're very excited for what she'll bring to the team. As we talked about already, camp is up and running. It's going exceptionally well. We're in week 5. We've dealt with some crazy weather, good weather, bad weather. Our staff is well trained in dealing with hot temperatures and severe weather, and the occasional bus company breakdown, which we incurred today. So staff is doing an incredible job. Very fun summer, very safe summer. We're looking forward to finishing it out and for the rest of July. We also had a lakefront advisory meeting last week. So we talked about just a recap on the beach operations so far. We gave an update on the capital projects, which Kyle talked about. Not a huge amount of feedback in the meeting. A lot of kudos to staff. We also had our one of our audits yesterday, which went exceptionally well, exemplary. So it was really great to see that the beaches lifeguards are doing a phenomenal job. Last week, we also had an early childhood advisory. We wanted to get the advisory together because we've been having some challenges related to discipline, communication around our policies and procedures. So we really wanted to get some feedback from parents. So we had a very productive meeting, 20 to 25 parents turn up. Commissioner Covey was there and helped navigate some of the feedback, and we presented on some of the rationales behind what we do with our discipline policies, some of the requirements with DCFS, and some of those items. And then we're going to plan to have a follow-up meeting in September to try to make some additional progress on those items.
Commissioner Reifman was also chair of her first advisory meeting, so she did a great job. So kudos to you.
Very good.
Well, planning on doing this every month is to have a staff report on different program areas, especially with 3 new commissioners, so you can learn different areas. So I'd like to introduce now Adam Wool, and he's our Assistant Director of Recreation Facilities, and Andrew Vallette. Is that, am I saying that right? Did I say it right? Vallette? Vallette? Okay, I was close enough. Program Manager for Athletics, Fitness, and Teen Camps, to give a little overview in those areas. So come on up.
Good evening. Thank you guys for having us. We're very excited to talk a little bit about adult programming, fitness center as well. So tonight we're going to walk through general operations on our fitness center, the fitness classes that we offer, talk about our great new Glencoe Walk Run Club, tennis and pickleball, ceramics and art, as well as some other offerings we have in the district, and talk briefly about some trends and opportunities. So I'll go ahead and turn it right over to Andrew right away, and then I'll jump in towards the end.
Yeah, so again, I'm Andrew. I oversee all the athletics, fitness, and teen camp here. So diving into the fitness center, our hours during the week are 5:30 to 9, and then weekend hours are 7 to 5. Our fitness center does house 13 pieces of cardio equipment, 6 multi-use strength machines, a stretching area that has kettlebells and stretching bands, and a stretching machine. We also have a locker area and then showers located off the fitness center as well. For staffing, we have 5 take of attendance. They're there Monday through Friday, 5:30 to 8:30, and then 5 to 9 p.m. And then on weekends, they're there 7 to 5 for a full shift. And then Monday through Friday, we also have our customer service team there during business hours.
Wait,
So-
go back. Those are new logos. Those have not been approved
Oh yeah,
yet.
sorry, I forgot to mention.
We were still working on the colors.
Draft
forgot to mention,
draft
yes,
form.
Before,
They're in
and I
draft.
was wondering,
Those are in draft. We have not
Yeah.
approved colors.
Colors aren't finalized yet, but we're working on it.
just be careful with the last 2, because when I saw it, I was like, what is gluten-free about our park
Fair.
district? So I like the first one.
I think it's actually going to be to use a combination depending on the application, but those are not finalized.
For sure. Yeah, so now looking into the memberships, we did restructure our memberships to offer a month-to-month membership, and that allowed for more flexibility, and it was part of a mandate for cancel at any time. We also have student and senior discounts as well. As of June 30th, we had a total of 216 members, and the peak times that we're seeing are 6 to 10 a.m. Average visits we're looking at year to date is about 30 per day. And then previous years that compares to 20 to 25. We also brought in an independent contractor, Jim Guys, who does our personal training. They are on a revenue share, so we do a split with them. And then one of the big factors that they have is free assessment, so anybody can come in and do a free assessment and just go through a whole walkthrough with them. As of June, with them being relatively new, they had a total of 21 sessions scheduled for June, which is great.
But one of the things, I don't know if you guys are all aware, all the people who work at the park districts have free access to the gym. And I think, do the teachers have, in Glencoe, teachers do? No, they have beach. Yeah, school district does not. Resident rates. And I go in there sometimes with my kid and I see some of the lifeguards like talking with each other, and it's really nice to see that we provide this for the community. So, and I love when I go in during the day and sometimes see some of our children's circle teachers getting healthy and getting fit is a great thing you guys provide. So
For sure.
just thank you for that.
For sure. Yeah, so now looking into the fitness classes, this is a screen grab of what our website looks like with the variety of different classes we have. We have a total of 7 independent contractors that are all on a revenue share. The fee structure is punch cards, and then we also offer drop-in daily fees for flexibility. We also, with the fitness classes, anybody that's part of a membership for our fitness center does receive 20% off for these classes as well. So it's kind of a win-win there. Facilities used is the fitness studio, yoga studio, and then we also have, during the warmer months, beach and parks used. One of our new initiatives we have was the Glencoe Walk Run Club, which began in April. It is manned by Al, who is one of our take of attendance. He's an avid fitness enthusiast. Hope you'll see him around. He tends to, get everybody going. So some of the initiatives we do with Al, it's really promoting the health and wellness. He's really big on bringing back smoothies when they get back from the run, walk, and promoting healthy lifestyles. He'll bring in speakers like he brought in a nutritionist. He's also brought in product testing with ASICs so they could try on shoes, which was kind of cool. They tried on shoes that weren't even out yet. No one could buy. So it's kind of a cool thing that Al's doing. And it's also great for community engagement. We're seeing, day one when I was out there, 2 English participants where they met each other and they actually live on the same street, and now they run consistently together. So it's just great engagement all around. Now looking into tennis. So our tennis offering, so the contractor is Life Sport. They offer Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday classes, and they're averaging about 30 to 50 participants per session. We did switch to Life Sport for adult classes in summer of 2024. We used to have a internal instructor that had some health issues, so we did switch to Life Sport. Courts that we're using is Central, Watts, and Lakefront. And pickleball, we also use Life Sport for pickleball as well, and Carl Rosenthal. So Life Sport offers it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday evenings, and they're averaging about 15 to 30 participants for that. And then Carl Rosenthal, who's the internal contractor, is Tuesday, Thursday afternoons, and depending on how many he can take, it averages about 48 to 72 per session. His classes tend to fill up. Courts used are West, Shelton, Weinberg, and Takeif.
Emily will take over this portion next time we speak, but I will talk towards our ceramics and art programs. Our adult ceramics program is probably the most beloved programs we have for adults. Natalie Steinmetz, year after year, survey after survey, gets amazing feedback on what she's able to provide. Our program, we offer about 5 classes per week, both evening and morning time slots. We are capped typically on the number of students, so we tend to be in that kind of 45 to 50. Why I say we're capped is it's based on shelving and space that they can store their pieces and the things that they're working on, their clay, et cetera. So we are capped in those programming. We do occasionally offer specialty workshops, and I think that's our opportunity, biggest opportunity for growth here. So we've done Raku out in the back. Certainly exciting workshop to do. We do sip and sculpts, those kind of occasionally on season 2. One of the big draws to our studio and why people do take our classes is the opportunity to open studio. So during off class hours, we'll offer open studio that's included in the class fee to give students the opportunity to continue to work on their pieces and also build community. That's probably the other biggest part about our ceramics is that it's the community feel. They get to, socialize, meet people, and really engage with them in that regard. And we tend to do 1 to 2 art shows or art openings a year where the students are able to showcase their art. On our painting and drawing classes, they'll certainly obviously put those in the lobby, but we'll certainly showcase those as well. Our staffing, we typically, from an adult standpoint, Natalie does a bulk of the classes, but we have typically 3 to 5 instructors that contribute to our overall ceramics program. And then we have studio assistants that come in and help really keep the studio itself running, whether it be reclaiming clay, cleaning tools, setting and prepping for classes and different things going on within the studios. The studios themselves, if you haven't been in them, we have two amazing spaces. We've put a lot of effort into making them functional and meet the needs of the community. So the ceramics is the bigger space where you'll see the wheels, and off the ceramics we have 3 kilns. So last year we installed the gas kiln, which has been a huge hit, and we have the 2 electric kilns as well. It's a well-oiled machine on how those are getting filtered through. Pretty much every other night we're firing pieces in those kilns. We have 9 wheels, so that also is a limitation within our adult classes because typically people want to throw and learn how to wheel throw. So we have to cap those classes based on who has interest in those. And lastly, we installed this 2 years ago. I think Erica was part of this project when she was in the role. We installed a spray booth, which is a really cool airbrush technique that can really enhance how the different colors and the effects that they can have on their pieces. Switching over to adult art, I think this is probably our biggest opportunity for growth, and I'm eager to see Emily's impact here. Right now we have 1 main instructor who offers 2 classes a week. There's some barrier to entry in those programs because it's only at 12:30 to 3 in the afternoon, which literally limits who can participate in those classes. Cheryl Steger's done an excellent job with building those classes and has a consistent base of about 10 to 15 participants seasonally. And they also do art shows in conjunction with the ceramics program. Our studio's community room 2, Kyle and his team is helping us do some upgrades in that space next month, which will be well received by the staff and the students. So replacing the floor, updating the sink, as well as the cabinetry to really meet the demands of the space and the students. So some other adult recreation opportunities that we do offer. So we offer a variety of different classes from adult sailing to adult improv. We do mahjong, and then some specialty crafting classes. Some other passive recreation opportunities that I think is important to point out is we obviously have open gyms. We have open skating, hockey, and seasonally, outdoor tennis, pickleball courts, and allowing people to utilize those kind of facilities. The other thing that I think that kind of we lose sight of sometimes is we do have a lot of rental groups and a lot of adults that come out and recreate, but it's not necessarily through our means of how we're running programs. So they'll rent space in the gym and it'll be a group of 10 to 15 guys or females playing hockey or basketball, whatever it might be. So here we have 3 different groups that play in the gym in early morning hours on 2 days a week, or 3 days a week. And then at the ice rink as well seasonally, we have up to 9 groups that rent and run their own leagues and utilize our ice rink. So we are giving a lot of recreational opportunities to adults in those fashions as well. Some other trends and opportunities that we've discovered and seen is the shorter duration on the class and sessions. It's hard to commit to a 12-week class, or 13 weeks, 14 weeks, maybe even a class that's 2.5 or 3 hours long. So it's something we're continuing monitoring and seeing, hey, can we do shorter, bursts? Targeting the empty nesters, ones that maybe don't have kids, like for me, trying to do a class in the evening would be nearly impossible. You have sports twice a week, you have swim lessons, whatever it might be. So targeting that demographic, and then also finding times that we can target the ones that do have the children and can't maybe participate in those traditional time slots. And again, events and programs may be targeting adults that have care included. So maybe we do a lot of undernighters for Kids Club or Children's Circle. Can we do some specialized activities for adults that the care is included and they're able to come in and do a pickleball social, or they're able to do a sip and sculpt or whatever it might be, and gets their foot in the door in some of these adult programs that we have. We also want to continue to partner with our local organizations. So the Friends of the Green Bay Trail, Community Garden, bring their expertise in to offer those one-day workshops, whether it be on floral arrangements or how do you like something like Erica's mindset on bees, things like that to be able to provide recreation enrichment to the community. Other things we're continuing to look at and we have attempted to do. Andrew is working closely with a plethora of park districts in the area on doing an inter-community pickleball league. We had some lessons learned from that. They're targeting probably too high of a level and really kind of the 4.0 plus. There are a lot of people that think they're 4.0 plus, but maybe they aren't. So our feedback is there an intermediate or kind of lower level skill that will allow us to participate? We weren't able to get quite enough interest on our end at the 4.0 plus level, but it was a really cool and unique way of, doing an inter-community league ran by the park districts. Continue pickleball socials. Andrew had an amazingly registered event this spring in April. We had over 50 people enrolled in a pickleball social. Unfortunately, the weather would not cooperate, and it was, I think it was like in the 40s and rainy, and unfortunately kind of rained on that parade. Looking at Glow Pickleball, we've seen it be successful on the teen side. How can we transition that to adult side? We're also trying to do beach volleyball leagues, kickball tournaments. So how do we do these one-off events to engage and give social opportunities for adults to participate in our programs? I'll open the floor if there's any questions, feedback.
I think your role is going to be more important as we see the demographics shifting, like we were talking. It's been a really impressive effort that you all have put in towards some of the adult things. I know when I first started, we struggled with how do we get adults engaged in between pickleball and investing in the ceramics, outdoor activities. I did see the July 26th kickball. I would definitely be involved, but I'm not here that weekend. But I just think these are the kind of great opportunities in the fitness center too, which I know Lisa was instrumental in getting here. These are the things that we need to engage people across the, the lifespan here in Glencoe. So just kudos and keep it up. It's great.
We didn't even touch upon all the great events Nate's doing with, bringing adults for those. So, and he'll talk to those in September, I believe.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
They're gonna try the pickleball social thing again?
yes, the plan is to do one for sure.
Adult programming is one of our strategic initiatives. That's where the board comes in handy because you're all the age demographics we're looking for adults. So if you ever have program ideas, event ideas, anything like that, please send them our way. Or you hear in the community, that's where we're trying to figure out what adults want and what they need. And we know just based on outreach for community meetings, everybody's so busy. So it's really hard to get in. And even like say my age, I don't like to commit to something that's 4 weeks long. I just can't fit it in my schedule, but one off. So that's kind of what we're thinking. But please, that's where the board, if you're talking to people, say, hey, what are you looking for in adult programming? And then just send those to Jess and Josh, because we're open to anything and exploring any different area. So, but thank you. Very nice presentation, both of you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, we have a few action
Thank you.
items to cover this evening. So going back to what we've covered in the committee meeting, for the first action item, I entertain a motion to approve the guaranteed maximum price amendment for the maintenance center and ball field project in the amount of $7,987,300 as presented. Any motion?
Come on. Come on.
So may I have a second?
Second.
Who's it, right then?
Roll call vote, please. Or any discussion before voting. Okay, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Hazen,
Yes.
Commissioner Kobe.
Yes.
Commissioner Guzman,
Yes.
Commissioner Reitman,
Yes.
President Spain.
Yes.
Michael, you're going to have to, you're going to have to. That would have been your moment. This is a great project. You had your name on that moment. Come on.
All right.
I'm laughing.
Next, I entertain a motion to approve food service contract with Taste for Kids Incorporated from August 2025 to July 2026 for an estimated annual cost of $85,000 as presented.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Hazen,
Yes.
Commissioner Kobe,
Yes.
Commissioner Guzman,
Yes.
Commissioner Reifman,
Yes.
President Spain.
Yes. Next, I entertain a motion to approve the annual treasurer's report as presented.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Hazen,
Yes.
Commissioner Kobe,
Yes.
Commissioner Guzman,
Yes.
Commissioner Reifman,
Yes.
President Spain.
Yes. So for the next, motion passes. Okay, for the next item here for the August board meeting, we're just going to do a committee meeting with a tour on August 5th.
Exactly. We're going to do, on August 5th, we're going to do report back of what our beach survey was, so that there'll be a presentation from White and Company on that, and then we'll go directly to a parks tour.
And I believe we don't have any action items.
No action
And
items.
there's
So
a lot
today
of
could be-
folks out in August, so entertaining here is a motion to cancel the regular board meeting scheduled for Tuesday, August 19th.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Hazen,
Yes.
Commissioner Kobe,
Yes.
Commissioner Guzman,
Yes.
Commissioner Reifman,
Yes.
President Spain.
Yes, motion passes. Do we have any other
There's
business?
no other business.
Okay, and there's no reason to enter into closed session. I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So please record the time.
8:41. Thank you all.